Intelligent Ramblings with your host, Bill Lofton. Co-hosted by Gary Glenn and William Howington with help from John Cole.
Welcome to Intelligent Ramblings. I'm Bill Lofton. I'm your host with the most. And joining me tonight, my cohorts, Mr. William Howington, top right, Mr. Gary Glenn, bottom left, and Mr. John Cone, bottom right. Gentlemen, it has been an eventful week in college football, to say the least. I'm going to start off with the obvious. Ole Miss, Georgia. Most of the people picked Georgia, even though, including ESPN people, even though Georgia was ranked 9th and Ole Miss was 5th at that point, I think. And during the first half, it seemed as though they were all wrong and we were all cringing. But Georgia is. And fourth quarter, they come back and look like super team. Managed to finally shut down that quarterback, Trinidad, and pulled it out. John, you were on location. What do you think?
Well, as I was saying earlier, one of the best games I've ever been to, one of the best college football games I've seen in person, like ever. Georgia it was hard to watch them at times in the first half, but the offense was working at a really high level from their first series, and they finally figured out Ole Miss's offense from the defensive side of the ball. Georgia did, and there are a lot of things I could talk about, but it was a thrilling, exciting, awesome football game and victory, and the stands went nuts. The fourth quarter, nobody sat down. I estimate the decibel level to be something like 105, 107 dB. And I'm an audio person, and I know what a dB is. And it was almost painfully loud. That's how loud it was.
Georgia, the thing about Georgia was
great experience.
They were consistent. They scored every time they touched the ball, even though several times it was just a field goal. And the problem was Ole Miss was matching it with touchdowns. And we finally shut them down in the fourth quarter. So it made it a good day for being a Georgia Bulldog.
Well, that's why you score when you get a chance.
You know, because a bunch of those field goals pile up and make a difference, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
You try not to do anything stupid and try to do something that you're not capable of doing. So you take the field goal when it's there. And luckily, we got a pretty good field goal kicker.
Yeah. Say the least.
2 touchdowns and a field goal in the fourth quarter, and Ole Miss didn't score, so that made a big difference.
Yeah.
That was the ending for it. And speaking of Georgia, did anybody watch the Louisville-Miami game? I did. Miami came out on the bottom, 24-21, and it was. As Georgia fans, we all know Carson Beck is a pretty good quarterback. The problem is when he gets stressed out, he just starts throwing them. And, a couple of them weren't his fault. But Carson is going to throw interceptions. I think his total so far this year is 7. Gunnar Stockton from Georgia has thrown 1. And we knew it was inevitable that was going to happen. And he sure did. He threw 4 interceptions against Louisville. And Louisville looked like they were ready for the game. Miami didn't.
Yeah, he just threw it up a couple of times. And that makes a big difference.
Well, it seems that when he's fixing to get knocked down or tackled or sacked, most quarterbacks just throw it out of bounds. But not Carson. He throws it right down the middle. And whoever's lucky gets it.
That's a weird conference this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes they got people in that conference that look like they can beat anybody in the college football, and other times they look bunch of dogs. I don't know, and I'm not talking about Georgia dogs. I'm talking about dogs.
Well, I mean,
I don't know what's going on.
Look at Clemson. They're 3-4.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. You know, somebody like Clemson.
All-American quarterback.
Alabama looked like the world beaters, and then after that.
Yeah.
You got it right, Gary. ACC is really a weird conference this year, and it's a toss-up who could win it. Louisville has only lost one, I believe, in conference, so that's your competition is Louisville, Georgia Tech, who is still undefeated, and Miami is. The world doesn't look like they're going to win the national championship anymore, but they still could win the ACC. I hope they don't. I'd rather see Tech or even Louisville win it before I'd want to see Miami. I've still got bad memories of Miami years ago when they were all dressed up in camouflage. You remember that? When they were playing for the national championships every year.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like Miami at all. And I think it was
nobody did.
I think it was Alabama just beat the pants off of them. They came out on the field all dressed in fatigues like they were military and all this stuff. And Alabama just beat the crap out of them that night. And that was pretty much all you heard from Miami for the next 10 years.
I will say really quick to go back to Carson Beck for a second. And I have a question. It looked to me like some of those interceptions you could blame on route running by the receivers. Did it look like that to you guys? Not to go on about Miami and Carson Beck too much.
Yeah, there were some bad routes run, no doubt. Carson brought that up in the exit interview. He threw a couple of them under the bus. I've never seen anybody do that consistently, but he did it at Georgia too. He would throw his receivers under the bus, and we know last year that receivers were our main problem at Georgia. They couldn't. The problem with our receivers at Georgia was they couldn't catch the ball, and I mean, we were the worst team out of 136 in drop balls last year. We were number one in drop balls last year. I mean, you can't have a successful season if your damn receivers get hit in the chest and they drop the ball. And it happened over and over and over. And finally, Carson said, I'm hitting them in the chest. They're dropping it. It's not me. He threw them under the bus. So we know that Carson will throw your ass under the bus quick. He does not have a problem with that.
Well, maybe he needs to throw something else besides throwing them under the bus.
That's true.
Throw that football. The ACC has 8 teams that have only won one game or none. 8 teams that have only won one conference game or none. 3 have not won a conference game, including Florida State, North Carolina, and Boston College. Winning only one game is Miami. Miami's 1-1. Wake Forest 1-2. North Carolina State 1-2. Virginia 1-2. And Syracuse 1-3.
Wow.
So there's a big gap down there at the bottom.
Wow. That's wow. What about Texas A&M, Arkansas? Texas A&M won by, I'm thinking 3 points, if that.
Yeah, it was close.
I need to check that.
It was 3 points.
3 points. Okay.
I think 45-42, wasn't it?
Yeah, Arkansas had a chance to win the game there late.
Yeah, 45-42. Yep, 45-42, and you would have thought that would have been a blowout. Texas A&M being undefeated and ranked in the top 3 or 4 in the country, and going to Arkansas. And the Razorbacks are they're one of those teams that probably could beat anybody in the country one time and then lose 6 in a row, which they seem to be doing.
They got Pittman got fired, so they've got an interim coach in there, and they may have played for him.
Paterno?
Petrino.
Okay, that's how you say it. Paterno. No, I don't care for the guy, so I don't really want to know how to say his name right.
Arkansas. It's a surprise. Arkansas.
Well, after that law, they're 2-5.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's why Pittman got fired. People thought they should have been
that's one good reason.
Arizona State beat one of the unbeatens 26-22 over Texas Tech. That conference, you don't know who's going to win next. But I thought Arizona State had a pretty decent team, and I picked them a couple times, and they lost, so I quit paying attention to them.
They were in the top 5 or 6 at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So they've had the team, and they just have not played well, or we don't know what happened. LSU got beat by Vanderbilt. It was my favorite game of the week, except for the Georgia game. I really enjoyed that because I haven't liked LSU in years. And, I mean, it's not like a Auburn kind of hate or Alabama kind of major dislike. It's not. They're kind of like, we don't play them very often, so I don't really care. But I don't know why, but I really don't like them.
The LSU fans don't like them much either. They don't like the coach even more, I think, than they dislike the team. I had an LSU fan tell me they got some major problems down there in the Bayou. So, of course, I think that guy's got a multi-million-dollar buyout. So, and that same fellow was saying, you might want to talk about this on your show. All these people talk about all this pressure on college football coaches, pressure this and pressure that. Well, when you got $20 million buyout, what pressure is that? Oh yeah, fire me. I can just sit that and collect $20 million.
Well, more than that.
Well, that's what Ed Orgeron said when they were interviewing him one time, and was said somehow they were talking about him getting fired. He looked at him. He says, "Oh, you want to fire me? Okay, fire me. I'll make $18 million. I'll be fine. So if they want to fire me, fire me. I don't care."
I believe I could get along on $18 million.
Thank you, John.
Impersonation. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, John. I really like Ed Orgeron. He was a character, buddy. I mean, nobody. But he did get canned because he somebody was telling me that he hit on one of the other coaches' wives or something, or Booster's wife or something like that, and he was gone the next day. The guy was a character and a pretty good football coach. Won a national championship. I mean, how many coaches can say that? And you can't leave out the Holy War, where BYU beat Utah 24-21. I did pick that. I feel good about that.
I picked that one too.
That conference to me is just generally weak anyway, and they do great. You always got one team out of that conference that goes undefeated or only loses one or something like that, and then they get whacked whenever they play in a bowl game. So,
well, that's one of the conferences really that started all the business about throwing it so much in college football. You remember when BYU would just sling it all over the place? They barely had a running game at all.
And
they just passed and passed and passed.
The shootout between Patrick Holmes and Baker Mayfield. I was reading about it several years ago. Patrick Holmes threw the ball. You ready for this? He had 88 attempts in that ball game.
Wow.
88 attempts. It was Baker Mayfield versus Patrick Holmes. And I forgot what they called it, but I was just reading about it earlier this week. And I think Baker had about 50 attempts, but Patrick Holmes threw the ball 88 times in one game.
You mean Mahomes, the guy that's quarterback for the
Kansas City
Chiefs now?
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes. Okay. He played at Texas Tech.
Well, you know, I'd say that they're both doing pretty well for themselves now.
I think they're both doing quite well. I like Baker. I want him to be successful. He's
no, not at Tampa Bay.
He's well, I mean, I'm from Atlanta. I was born in Atlanta. I was born downtown Atlanta, so I'm have to be an Atlanta fan. But you know, it's kind of hard to root for Atlanta because they've lost for the last forever, and it's you pick out other teams that you like and other players. So I follow Baker Mayfield, and of course I follow L.A. Rams because they got Stetson over there. I don't know why they ain't playing him, but
Falcons need to get them an exorcist and get rid of the curse of the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
They've never been the same.
28-3.
For a while they were with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. They were going up and up and up. When they blew that lead in the Super Bowl and the Patriots beat them. It has been hold your nose when you look at the Falcons.
Hey, we're going to take a quick commercial here, and then we'll come back and do some picking.
Intelligent Ramblings is brought to you in part by Pat Williamson, a proud Dragon alumnus and a strong supporter of Jefferson athletics and academics.
Well, here we are. Intelligent College Football, the 22nd of October, 2025. You guys ready to do some picks?
Oh yeah.
Do.
I wish I could get my teeth as white as that you've got us fixed there in the in that photo right there. We all look pretty good there.
I thought it makes us all look pretty good.
Yeah, it did. Good job.
Makes us look younger.
Yeah, we can all use that.
UCLA at number 2, Indiana.
All right. Well, now, UCLA is under interim coach Tim Skipper because the Bruins started 0-3 and they fired Deshaun Foster, an alumnus. That kind of lets you know things weren't all that great out there in Los Angeles. Anyway, the Indiana has got themselves a brand new coach as well. He is Kurt Signetti, but they're doing pretty well. Indiana is unbeaten, and UCLA is 3-4 right now on the season. The quarterback for the Hoosiers is Curtis Rourke, and he throws to Omar Cooper Jr., and when they hook up, they're pretty good. And the defense, that may have surprised some people now, the defense of the Hoosiers has been dominant, particularly against the run, and the offense has been potent. So when you got a dominant defense and a potent offense, then that's a good reason why you're off to a 7-0 start. Now, the defense early on was allowing the fewest rushing yards per game in the country, led by Aiden Fisher, a linebacker, among others. UCLA has improved somewhat under this new coach. The quarterback is Nico Imamaleva, a transfer. Others have shown some flash for UCLA, but they really struggle to be consistent. They may be getting some players back to full strength on the offensive line, and that should help them somewhat. In fact, the defense has held the last 4 opponents to 17 points or less. But I think the bottom line for this one is too much offense and too much defense on the part of Indiana for the Bruins to handle. I think they will win, and even though that's a bunch of points, I think they might cover it. So I'm picking Indiana to win and cover in this one. The Hoosiers kind of smell a little bit of playoff money there, and they may want to be putting some, as I talked about last week, some style points on the board. So that's my prediction for this one. Although I kind of waffled on the cover a little bit. I mean, that's a lot of points. And UCLA, as we said, it has improved, but I think Indiana wins this one and covers. Oh, wait a minute. I think I said no, didn't I, John? John, did I say no on this one?
Stand by 1 second. No to cover. Is that what you're saying?
No to cover. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna amend that. UCLA has shown, as we said, some flash. So strike that last about covering the spread. I don't think they will cover. They got to score 25 points, and that's a lot of points even against UCLA. And UCLA is a pretty proud program. So I'm still going to pick Indiana to win it, though. But I don't think they're going to cover 24.5 points.
So, Gary, on the form, yeah, it looks like you said they would cover.
I did. Change that then.
Okay.
Change that.
No problem.
Change that to a no for me. As I told you, I waffled on that one. So, but I kind of talked myself into not covering this time on this one. So,
got it.
I see what Fran said.
We cover. I picked Indiana to cover.
Okay.
I too have Indiana, and I think they will cover.
I'm going to go with Indiana as well, but I don't think they're going to cover.
All right. So put Bill and me down for the not cover slot on that one. Okay.
Yep, no problem.
I'm covering. I did pick Indiana, didn't I?
You did.
F. Cohen said, I had a client today who is an Indiana fan. I didn't recognize the flag in their front yard, but it was indeed Indiana University. How about that?
Yeah, we're all still getting used to their logo, I think. You don't often see that.
In fact, they're ranked number 2.
I actually saw an Indiana fan in Walmart the other day. So they're coming out of the woodwork. Texas A&M, number 3 in the country, at number 20, LSU.
All right, number 3, the highest ranked SEC team, 7-0. At LSU, number 20. And this Texas A&M is favored by 2.5 only because they're playing at 7:30 on ABC in Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. A heck of a place to play. A&M have wins over University of Texas, San Antonio, Utah State, Notre Dame, Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, and Arkansas. Although the Arkansas game was only a 3-pointer, A&M still won. A&M is coached by Mike Elko, who came over from Duke a couple of years ago. He's 48 years old, and he's 31-14 at both Duke and A&M. A&M is led by quarterback Marcel Reed with 1,770 yards passing and 15 touchdowns with a QBR of 67.5. He's a pretty good quarterback. We need to watch that one at 7:30 on Saturday night. Reuben Owens has 70 carries for 396 yards and 3 touchdowns. And receiving, Mario Craver has 36 catches for 674 yards and 4 touchdowns. LSU is 5-2 with wins over Clemson, Louisiana Tech, Florida, Southeast Louisiana, South Carolina. LSU is coached by Brian Kelly, who is on the hot seat. They're talking about getting rid of him, even though they're 5-2. A lot of teams would give anything to be 5-2 at this point. At quarterback, LSU is led by Garrett Nussmeier, who was a Heisman Trophy candidate to start the season. Still has 1,638 yards passing on 154 completions out of 232 attempts, 11 touchdowns, but he has 5 interceptions. Rushing is Caden Durham with 392 yards rushing on 74 carries and 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Aaron Anderson has 24 receptions for 323 yards. And you can vote for LSU to upset Texas A&M. I think they're good enough, have good enough athletes to do it. They just have problems coaching. But if they put things together, they can beat them. But I'm taking Texas A&M to cover the 2.5.
Well, I
All right.
William.
Right, taking
I think.
LSU.
Yeah, I'm picking A&M, and I'm picking them to cover because of the reasons we talked about earlier when we talked about LSU. I think A&M is good enough. They're undefeated, and they've played some games in the SEC already. And although it will be a tough place to play, and LSU's got to be stinging from that loss to Vanderbilt, so this one may be close. But I think A&M is good enough to win it and cover.
I'm in agreement.
They're 4-0 in the SEC. They're
I'm
leading
gonna go
the pack.
I'm going to go with Texas A&M and to cover.
I have Texas A&M and to cover also, and I think LSU, even though it's at night at LSU, I think wondering if Brian Kelly is maybe losing his team, and if I'm kind of thinking that the wheels may come off during this game.
I'm in agreement. I think they're going to run them out of the stadium.
This would be a good one to pick LSU in, though. I mean, at night in Baton Rouge, that's a heck of a place to play. Those Cajuns will be liquored up by then.
Yep.
I think they get started right after breakfast.
Remind me when I have time. I'll tell you my favorite Justin Wilson story on the Bayou Bengals there. You remember the cooking Cajun,
Alabama.
don't you?
Number 4, Alabama at South Carolina.
So I have, let me get to the right page, sorry. Alabama at South Carolina, Saturday, 3:30 in the afternoon on ABC. ESPN Analytics gives Alabama an 82% chance of winning. Our coaches for the game are Kalen DeBoer for Alabama, South Carolina, Shane Beamer, the second generation of Beamer ball. Alabama is ranked 4th on the Football Power Index. South Carolina is down at 39th. Alabama goes into Williams-Brice Stadium with one of the best teams in college football. I think Ty Simpson is a fine quarterback who's playing well right now. Statistically, Alabama is not the strongest looking team, but on the field, they still play the Alabama way and they win. I think we're looking at a 42-17 kind of game. I have Alabama to win and cover the spread.
I'll agree with that. I'm Alabama and cover.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ditto.
Yeah. South Carolina's not all that good this year, I'm afraid. They have some athletes and they have some flashes, but I think Alabama's just going to be too much for them. And I think they'll cover.
I think you're looking at maybe the Heisman Trophy winner if they keep playing well. And the quarterback.
He's a good kid, too. He's a very humble kid. He doesn't take a lot of credit on himself.
Well, that's good.
Wisconsin at number 6, Oregon. Oregon's got a 33-point spread. 7 p.m. Fox Sport 1. ESPN Analytics is giving the Badgers a 2.8 chance to win. That's a statement about this game. So far this year, Wisconsin has won 2 games over Miami of Ohio and Middle Tennessee. The next closest win was a 14-point loss to Michigan. The rest were blowouts, and Wisconsin sits at 2-5. Oregon, currently the number 6 team in the country, is only 10 points from an undefeated season. You got to think Wisconsin's Luke Fickell is wondering at this point, why did I leave a successful program at Cincinnati for this, where he was 33-5 his last 5 years at Cincinnati? While Dan Lanning, head coach of Oregon, currently at 6-1, is still in the hunt for Natty. Oregon for the win and to cover the 33-point spread.
Well, I think the odds may have shifted a little bit, but that's still a lot of touchdowns to have to score. And Oregon may call off the dogs if they get that far ahead. So I think they're going to blow them out, but I'm not sure they're going to blow them out by 35 points. So I say win, but not cover.
I say win, Oregon by a win, but I can't remember if I said cover or not, but I'll say cover.
I have Oregon to win and not cover.
I think they're going to put 60 on them. Wisconsin is that bad, and Oregon is that good.
Oregon's stinging a little bit from that loss.
Yeah, and they're going to want it. They need style points, so that's also throwing it in the mix.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. If those odds stay consistent there, 34.5, 35 points, I'm still going to tell them not. I'm going to say not cover. Now, they may, like you guys have said, they might want to just feel bad about the loss. They want to beat up on somebody. In Wisconsin, the Badgers may just be the victims, but I'm going to say no right now.
All right.
Syracuse at number 7 and undefeated Georgia Tech.
Yeah, how about that? Well, Syracuse, Fran Brown, and Georgia Tech, Brent Key. Texas is the highest they've been ranked in quite some time, and they are playing well. And quarterback Haynes King is the straw that stirs the Georgia Tech cocktail. He is a true dual threat. 1,176 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air and 560 yards and 10 touchdowns on the ground for the Jackets. And running back Jamal Hayes for Tech is no slouch. The offensive line is in running for the honor roll for the Joe Moore Award, which is awarded to the best lines in college football. And in the red zone, Tech scores. That scores somehow, either a field goal or touchdown, what have you. In the red zone, the Jackets score over 96% of the time they get in the red zone. Now, the pass defense is not as good. The secondary has struggled sometime, and the pass rush has been inconsistent, to say the least, but they got a lot of offense. And the third downs have not been very good. They're about 115th in the red zone there, but Syracuse started strong, and then they have slumped. They have now lost 3 straight. They had to go with a backup quarterback, Ricky Collins. They've got problems with turnovers and accuracy right now in their passing game. And the rushing attack ranks 121st in yards per game in the FBS. So considering all of those things, all of the factors, Tech has got, as we've said, some problems on defense and scoring on third down. But the reason maybe they don't score a lot on third down is they don't need to. As I said, Tech puts up a lot of offense, and their defense is pretty good against the run. Anyway, so I picked Tech to win it and to stay undefeated, and I think they cover that 17.5 point spread.
I'm going to say that Tech's going to win, but I don't think they'll cover. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that because Syracuse has surprised a couple of guys this year, and mainly naming Clemson, who's not very good, but still they beat Clemson. So they have the capability of playing against somebody. So I think it'll be closer, and I don't think they'll cover.
Well, I did you one better. I picked Syracuse.
Oh, good.
All right, going for the upset there.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. I'm kind of proud of that line too.
All right, John.
I have Georgia Tech to win and cover. I don't think that Syracuse has been the same team since their starting quarterback went down, 3 games ago? And they've got Georgia Tech at home. So I see Georgia Tech winning and covering.
I can always change my mind, but right now.
No, you've said it on national TV, buddy. You got it. You're stuck with that. No.
We've always been able to change our picks before the game starts.
No, we changed that rule about a week ago when you weren't here. do it.
No, that doesn't count. I wasn't here.
Are we on national TV?
Yeah,
We are. Yeah,
Wow.
but that's the beauty about the internet, man. You could see it in Easton Ollie, Georgia, but you can also see it in Dubai and the United Arab Emirates if you want to.
That's right. We're on worldwide TV, baby.
We're worldwide, man. What are you talking
Man,
about?
we're just global and all.
We're
Wow.
the POBS. It's the
WWW.
POBS. You know that? It's the POBS. It says at the end of the show, the Phi Omega Broadcasting System.
Yeah.
We're not
That's the
national. We're
FOBS.
a worldwide production. Just so everybody knows that.
Sorry
Yeah.
to get us off in the weeds.
That's okay.
Especially that part of the BS. We're definitely that.
Number 8, Ole Miss at number 13, Oklahoma.
Well, Oklahoma's favored by 4.5. It's at 12 noon on ABC Saturday in Norman, Oklahoma. Ole Miss is fresh off a loss to Georgia last week. Pardon me. They're still 6-1 and right up there with everybody else. It's coached by Lane Kiffin, who's a big joker. You saw him in the ball game signaling timeout when he didn't really want a timeout. He was imitating Kirby Smart. He's 50 years old with a record of 50-19. And he became coach at Ole Miss in 2020. Overall, he's got a college record of 111-53. Ole Miss has wins over Georgia State, big powerhouse, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tulane, LSU, and Washington State, with that long loss coming to Georgia last week. Leading Ole Miss is quarterback Trinidad Chambliss with 1,549 yards passing on 104 completions out of 168 attempts. That's pretty good. Rushing, Kewan Lacey has 637 yards on 138 attempts, 4.5 yard average, which is pretty good. I wish we had a running back with a 4.5 yard average. Receiving, Wallace Harrison has 400 yards on 21 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Oklahoma is 6-1, coached by Brent Venables, who came over from Clemson a few years ago. He's 54 years old with a 27-17 record. And he got wins over Illinois State, Michigan, Temple, Auburn, Kent State, and of course they got beat by Texas. That's their long loss. The offense is led by quarterback John McTeer, who was injured, then came back a little bit, but I still think he had problems against Texas. He has 133 completions and on 205 attempts and 1,567 yards and 7 touchdowns. Rushing, Corey Blaylock has 87 carries for 391 yards and 4 touchdowns. Receiving, Isaiah Stegman has 493 yards on 37 receptions and 4 touchdowns. If you want to, you can pick Oklahoma, but I'm going with Ole Miss. I don't have to worry about covering since Oklahoma's favored by 4.5. Ole Miss, and I don't know why you call it an upset since they're higher ranked, but I think they're going to be steaming after losing to Georgia last week, especially the way they lost to them.
I agree with you, William. I want to pick the Rebels in this one too, and for some of the reasons that you talked about. Plus, Ole Miss showed me something. They showed me they're a pretty good football team, and they scored for a while. Remember, they were scoring every time they touched the ball until right there at the end when they kind of gave up gave it up in the fourth quarter when they had to punt it away. But I think, you don't have to worry about the spread either, since I'm picking Ole Miss, and according to the odds makers, it'd be an upset. I'm not so sure, according to the coaches, if it'd be an upset or not. But I'm gonna pick Ole Miss in this one.
What you got, John?
I'm going to say Ole Miss to win. So, no to covering the spread because it doesn't matter. And I think it comes down to Ole Miss's offense. And I think their defense is better than advertised, even though Georgia went up and down the field on them. And I want to get in a word about that later. But so anyway, I've got Ole Miss to win.
Well, it looks like I'm going to be the one holdout. That's why I asked to see what you did before I said what I'm going to do. And the fact that I am going to pick Oklahoma. And I don't think they'll cover. I think it's going to be close. But I think Oklahoma's got a better defense than Georgia. And they're really good. I've watched them a couple times, and they've got a good defense. So I think they're going to. I think Trinidad's going to be running for his life most of the game, and I think Mature has had time. Did I say that right this time? Mature? No. Close enough. Mature.
But we know who you're talking about.
Okay, the quarterback for Oklahoma has had a couple of weeks to recover from his injuries, and when I watched him play earlier this year, he was sharp as a tack. So I think Oklahoma, and I'm hedging on whether or not they're going to cover. I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to win. And I think, you know what? Going for it all. Oklahoma and to cover.
Well, if they win, they're going to cover.
Yeah, it probably won't be a 3-point game.
Well, that's my
one
vote.
way or the other. Okay.
Missouri, number 15. At number 10, Vanderbilt.
John?
Holy cow. I'm so sorry.
Wake up.
A little distracted here in the studio. Come on.
You got a cat in there with you?
Sorry. Okay, here we are. So number 15 at number 10, Vanderbilt at 3:30 p.m. Saturday on ESPN. ESPN Analytics gives Vanderbilt a 55% chance of winning, which doesn't help much. I mean, that makes it a coin toss. Our coaches are for Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz, Vanderbilt, Paul Cleary, and Vanderbilt's offense converts 55% of their third downs, and they're 8th in FBS for scoring. And their defense is opportunistic with a 4+ turnover margin. Sorry. They've got Diego Pavia, and I'm on the Diego bandwagon. That dude just figures out how to win. And I think they will do that this coming weekend. Vandy to win and cover the minus 2.5 spread.
Same. Everything he said, I'm agreement.
Yeah. Diego is the man.
Yeah.
When he is on, he is something else. He's up there with the Tech quarterback king. I mean, they make their teams run. And I'm on the Vandy bandwagon now. Even though LSU's had some problems, they're still LSU, and Vandy just beat them.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about Baker Mayfield a little while ago. Pavia reminds me very much of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, his bravado and his athleticism.
Yeah, he got a little swagger to him. That's necessary for a quarterback to have a little bit of that. You got to believe in yourself, and you when you throw a pick, you can't start moping about that one, because if you do, you'll throw another one. You say, "Well, that was a fluke. I'm not doing that again," and then go for it.
William?
Well, Missouri's a show-me state, and I think they're going to make Diego Pavia show them. They're a pretty good football team.
Yeah.
They're 6-1, aren't they?
Vanderbilt's riding high, but they can be beat, and Missouri's a team that can beat them. So I'm going with Missouri. They don't have to worry about cover, and I guess I'm the only one.
Only one. All right.
Yeah.
Makes for an interesting game.
Tennessee at Kentucky, 7:45 on ESPN. Kentucky is 0-4 in conference play and 2-4 overall. Tennessee is 2-2 in conference play and 5-2 overall, with those two losses coming to powerhouses Alabama and Georgia. Kentucky's only wins have come against Toledo and Eastern Michigan, with 5 more capable teams on the schedule. This could be a long season for Kentucky. If the current trend keeps going, the Wildcats will only win one other game this season. The all-time winningest coach at Kentucky, Mark Stoops, must be scratching his head wondering what the hell's going on here. Head coach Josh Heupel has Tennessee at 5-2, but the only SEC foes they have defeated are Mississippi State and Arkansas, the bottom of the barrel. And both of those wins were by a combined score of 10 points. This game goes back to 1893, and it's obviously important to the Kentucky fans who will be fired up and making a lot of noise. It is at night at Kroger Field in Lexington, and I think Kentucky could salvage their season with a win. So I'm going to go out on a limb and predicting a Kentucky win at home.
Well, I'm going with Tennessee to cover. I just think they're next tier down. Kentucky's not in that next tier. And next tier in the SEC is still pretty good.
I think Tennessee wins, and I think they cover.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Bill, you go right out on that limb if you like. Just don't saw it off behind you.
I'm going to be out there hanging on a limb going, come on, Kentucky.
I have got Tennessee to win and cover. I think Kentucky's offense in particular is really struggling, and they're discouraged about their SEC record, and I think, like I said, Tennessee to win and cover.
Number 17, Texas, who at one time was number 1, at Mississippi State.
All right, coaching match, Steve Sarkisian and Jeff Levy. The Maroon Bulldogs have yet to win an SEC game this season. Now, some of those games they haven't lost by much, though, but they did lose. State's top receiver, Brennan Thompson, once played at Texas. He also played at Oklahoma before coming on to Mississippi State. Some of these athletes, as you will hear, are well-traveled. He's got 533 yards receiving and 4 touchdown catches. Quarterback Blake Shapen played Texas when he was at Baylor. So there's all kinds of connections running around here. And they lost that game when he was the quarterback, 38-27 in 2022. He had 2 touchdown passes and a pick in the game. But he's played Texas before. This year, Shapen's got 1,500 yards plus. He's got 9 touchdowns and completes almost 67% of his passes. He did throw a late pick in the Bulldogs' loss to Florida, and that was a key point in that particular game that led the Maroons to lose. They do lead the SEC in interceptions and forced turnovers. Their safety, Brylan Lewis, has been in Alabama and Indiana, and 3 interceptions between Alabama and Indiana. But Texas leads the series through 2. Arch Manning filled in last season when they played. In that game, he was 26-1 for 325 yards, and Texas won that game 35-13. Against Oklahoma, the Longhorns did a lot of third downs, and the running back, Jay Weister, has helped open up the passing game with his rushing. he's helping Manning out there. Manning has grown into the role of starter, and he's making better throws. Longhorns are creating turnovers, and they're pretty tough in the red zone. Went over and I over. They had a letdown against Kentucky. They still won it in overtime. I think they kind of righted that ship. I think the Longhorns will win this one, and they will cover that 6.5 points right there. There you go.
I'm going to have to agree. I'm going to go with Texas and to cover.
I'm going to say Texas to win and cover also. I think I said last week that Arch Manning was going to do better last week, and he kind of didn't. So maybe this is the week.
Well, as I said, John, he's played them before. Although, he will be throwing against that pretty good set. Who's Alabama and Indiana, and he's got 3 picks for the Maroon Bulldogs so far. But I think Manning is good enough, along with the rest of the Longhorns, to win this one and score, touchdown or an extra point and cover that spread.
Well, I'm going to have the Cowbells going at Mississippi State.
I knew he was going to say that.
And I'm picking Mississippi State in an upset, big time. Don't have to worry about covering. I must have been drunk when I picked that, but I'm going to stick to it. I don't even drink. I don't know what I had. I must have had prune juice or something. But
well, don't drink too much of that or you'll disappear.
Yeah, I'm going with Mississippi State. They're going. Starkville's a tough place to play, and it's playing at night, aren't they? So
I don't care if they played them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Texas ain't going to lose to Mississippi State.
Well, they might. You never know. I'll stick with it.
Fran says more cowbells.
Yeah, they need more cowbells.
Another Saturday Night Live reference.
More cowbells. Got to have more cowbells. The greatest skit ever done on Saturday Night Live. Michigan, number 25 at Michigan State.
All right, Michigan is 3-2. Michigan State's 3-4. They're playing at Spartan Stadium at 7:30 on NBC, so another night game. Michigan has a 14.5 point spread, and Michigan State has allowed opponents 32.7 points per game. I just don't see Michigan State doing too well in this one. Michigan has averaged 28.7 points per game. I think they're going to have more than that. Michigan has wins over New Mexico, Central Michigan, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Washington. Did I say they were 3-2? They're 5-2. Sorry.
5-2, yeah. 5-2.
Yeah. With losses to USC and Oklahoma. 2 pretty good football teams right there that they lost to. Michigan State has wins over Western Michigan, Boston College, Youngstown State, with losses to USC, Nebraska, UCLA, and Indiana. Those aren't too shabby either. So Michigan State's had it rough. If you want to pick an upset, this would be a good one to pick, Michigan State. But I'm going with Sharon Moore's Michigan Wolverines. He has a 12-7 record in his second year. He was suspended the first 3 games of the year due to his involvement with that sign-stealing scandal. Of course, that wasn't his fault. He was involved in it. He's 39 years old, and Michigan is 3-1 in the Big Ten, tied for 3rd. Michigan State is 0-4, but like I said, they play some pretty good teams. They're coached by Jonathan Smith, and Michigan's won 3 straight over Michigan State. And Saturday night should be 4 straight. Look for Michigan to cover the 14.5 point spread. But if you want to pick an upset, here's a good opportunity.
I don't think so.
I don't
think
either.
you're right. Michigan wins, and I think the Wolverines cover.
Michigan and to cover.
I have Michigan, but I'm kind of on the fence about covering that 14.5-point spread. So that's like a 31-14 game. You know, they've got to score at least 2 touchdowns and a safety or a field goal more than Michigan State. And I kind of wonder if they can do that at Michigan State. And it's an in-state rivalry game. I just think it's going to be closer than that. So Michigan, but not to cover.
I think that's probably about right. But I picked them to cover.
I'm going to stick with that too.
Me too. Auburn War Eagles at the Arkansas Razorbacks.
All right. So Auburn travels to Arkansas Saturday, 12:45 in the afternoon on the SEC network. And for this one, I'm just going to throw out the numbers and the analytics and go all touchy-feely. So I think Arkansas is hurting, and they have shown some life since firing former head coach Sam Pittman, who is now fishing somewhere and eating lots of barbecue and getting paid well to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I like what Arkansas has done the last 2 weeks. I like that they are at home, and I don't like Auburn. I don't like anything about Auburn. Sorry, I do. I actually know some great people from Auburn, but when it comes to football, I'll pick pretty much whoever's playing Auburn. I think that when the spread is this close, it is really trying to tell you something, and what it's trying to tell you is Auburn loses to Arkansas. So I've got Arkansas to win, and Auburn, of course, doesn't cover the spread.
Well, I have a similar dislike of Auburn in a big way. Really don't like them. And I don't have any friends in Auburn. So I like them, dislike them all the way around. But I think they're due. I think they've come close. I think they've come very close to a couple of wins this year and played really well and then played really bad. And I think they're due. So I'm going with Auburn, believe it or not.
I'm with Bill. Auburn to cover. I think they're due too. They got pretty good athletes, and you know they play pretty good football out there in Auburn. Arkansas, of course, this would be a good one to pick an upset because they've got athletes too, and they might be trying to win one to show that Pittman was a better coach than what they think he is. So,
sorry, Fran.
Well, I'm gonna go with Auburn too. I think they're just a little bit maybe, that much better than Arkansas, but I think I saw some better odds from the Tigers early on. If it's down to 1.5, John, I'm going to say they cover this. So
Okay.
Put me down as a yes to cover on that one.
Gary, whenever you look down, your audio gets weird.
Oh, okay. Well,
Just so
I'll
you
try
know
to keep
that.
looking up then.
Look up. Look at the camera.
Let me jump in and say one thing about, by the way, Fran, thank you so much for all of your comments. We love it.
thank you for
Thank
watching.
you for participating.
Yeah.
Auburn, specifically the head coach of Auburn, Hugh Freeze, kind of wonder what's going on with him. Anyway, and it kind of all starts with coaching. Arkansas made a change. Auburn's still dragging Hugh Freeze around like a ball and chain. I'm just going to stick with my pick, Arkansas in an upset.
All right then, John, out on a limb.
Not much of a limb. This is
Not much of a limb.
Yeah, it's a point and a half limb I'm out on here.
Yeah, I'm out on the big limb.
Well, let's see what some results of what we have picked so far.
Now we got one more game to go, don't we, Bill?
Yeah, but I think I left it out on the graphic, my game.
No.
For some
Colorado
reason.
and Utah. You can talk about it.
Okay, I'll talk about it. Colorado at Utah. Utah is a 13.5 point favorite. It's at 10:15 p.m. on, we're thinking probably ESPN. Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham announced Monday that his dynamic starting quarterback, Devin Dampier's health status is uncertain heading into the rivalry matchup against Colorado. Also, Colorado is coming off a bye week after their upset of ranked Iowa State. Colorado coach Deion Sanders could make this interesting. Can the Buffaloes turn the season around after a 2-4 start? Well, Colorado's record is 3-4 at this point, but Utah is 5-2 with their losses coming to once beaten Texas Tech and undefeated BYU. Sing another song. This Big 12 conference matchup could get spicy, but I doubt it. Utah is pissed off after their loss in the Holy War to BYU last week and will take it out on Colorado. Utah for the win and to cover.
I picked Utah to cover too, but I didn't know it was that big a spread, or I didn't pay attention. One of the two.
I still think they're going to win and cover.
You never know
I
what
agree.
that
I think Utah wins and covers for the reasons that Bill was talking about. And let me put up Fran's latest comment. And this was back when we were talking about Auburn and Arkansas. And we really do appreciate your comments and your being here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We need more. A lot more.
Let's see how everybody's doing this season. Okay, on the week, last week.
I didn't do too good.
Gary was at 83%. William, yeah, you took a nosedive, 67%. Big John, 92%. Wow, you only missed one.
Woo!
And there's Bill at 83%. Still hanging in there. Here's the season total so far. Gary, you're at 76%. William, you're back. You're going backwards. You're at 74%.
Yeah, I keep picking those stupid upsets.
And John is leading the pack right now at 74%, 77%. And look at here. There's old Bill at 74%. He's caught one of you. I told you I'd come back.
Yeah.
I was
Nicely done.
I was 5 games behind everybody. All right, let's see how we're doing against the spread.
No, obviously not
This
too
week,
good.
Gary dropped down to 67. Well, you're at 67% again. William, you're at 67. John won this week and the picks and the spread. He's at 73%, and I'm along with the rest of them at 67%.
Yeah, we're better at picking winners than we are at picking gambling odds, apparently.
I don't know though. Our percentages are still a little bit higher than ESPN.
Yeah, we'd still be making money.
Covered the spread for the season total. Gary, you're at 58%. William's still leading by a pretty good bit. It's going to be hard to catch.
Yeah, he is.
And John is at 58%, and I'm at the bottom again at 56%. Well, we're going to take another commercial real fast, and then we'll come back for our summarization of this week. This webcast is brought to you by William Lofton Photography. They can be found at williamlofton.com. Offering event residential portraiture at williamlofton.com. Well, that was a good week in college football. A lot of exciting games and a few that we had no clue. Like, I thought Miami was going to beat Louisville like the drum. I really did. But four interceptions, that can always ruin your day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if I'd have had a clue as to all the struggles LSU is undergoing, I think some of that's off the field. I might have gone with Vandy. That would have upped my percentage a little bit last week, too.
Well, and once again, if Auburn lost in overtime to Missouri, which got me because all of y'all picked Missouri, and I was the only one that picked Auburn. And I'm saying, I think they're due. And maybe this week the War Eagles will come out on top.
They'll fly.
They'll fly.
The team with a dozen nicknames, depending on the day. Officially, their nickname is Tigers, by the way. War Eagles like a rallying cry.
The Dragons, they are they in the second round already? Did I miss something last weekend?
No. They're still in the regular season. They are in control of the region. They've got a big game at Cherokee Bluff this coming Friday night. And I'll be there on the sidelines doing my radio thing. So I'll get to watch. It'll be the second time I've seen the Dragons this year. I saw them beat the dog out of East Hall.
Yeah, I've seen them 4 or 5 times.
Are you going with
Cherokee? Yeah.
You going to bring that damn horn?
Yeah. I'm bringing Dwight, too.
Oh, God. You not Dwight and a horn.
Oh, yeah. Both of us have horn. Alex has a horn, too.
Well, I was thinking about going to see Cherokee Bluff, but that just got changed real quick.
The Dragons also have volleyball and softball going today. I don't know how it turned out. We've been on the show, so I hadn't got a report.
That was beyond. I don't know what was the most obnoxious thing about that game I went to at Jefferson is when they got beat like a drum by North Oconee. That was not fun. A.
Ooh.
B. The PA system at the Jefferson Stadium is like aimed at the crowds, and the guy is like loud the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So the guy gave me a headache listening to him, and they play those songs that I really don't like. A lot of that pop crap I don't like. And
you don't have to worry about that at Cherokee Bluff.
And then you had the fun part of sitting next to Dwight blowing that damn horn the whole night, so between the three, I had a headache the whole night, and on the way home, I had a headache. First thing I did when I got to my truck was throw some Tylenol down my throat. So,
well, you're not pregnant, are you? I mean, that causes autism in your babies. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, right. And you can cure COVID by injecting yourself with
bleach.
Bleach. Yeah.
Don't do that, anybody.
Nobody knows that.
Please.
No, please don't do that.
I think
I'm not sure Mississippi State could win this one. Fran wants William to bring his cowbell. I'm not sure Mississippi State could win this one if they had Will Ferrell and Christopher Walken on there playing the cowbell.
I need to get a cowbell. I don't have a cow though, so
that is one of the most irritating parts of when I work and shoot a marathon and some yahoo standing next to me with a damn cowbell for 3 hours going, You can do it. You can do it. Ding, 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 ding. You know, I'm like, really? I have earphones that I wear when that happens. I just put them on and so I can shut it down. Gentlemen, I hope everybody has a great week.
Well, we need to say something about one of our lost teammates, Wade Brown, 70 years old, passed away last Sunday. He was number 73 in the Dragon program, played tackle, played nose man, great classmate, graduated 73. We all played with him. He was just a great guy all the way around.
He was a great guy.
Yeah, remember him on a camping trip with us one night. We were in a scary situation, and he came up to me because he knew I was armed. You all right? You all right, Gary? Yeah, you are. We're okay, Wade. We're all right.
All right.
We're getting that age, brothers.
We are getting that age.
Yeah, sorry to see Wade go.
Yeah, me too.
Good guy.
Everybody have a good
Prayers
week.
for his family.
Yeah, have a good week.
See ya.
See ya.
Thank you, everybody.